Hey guys, welcome back to another one. So here I'll be going through the complete walkthrough of the paper 1 non-calculator, which is actually the first official paper released under the 921 GCSE. And this one was actually one of the hardest. Well, paper 2 was ranked, even made headlines in the news. So let's have a look. And just a keynote, make sure an exam that you use black ink or else your work will not get scanned properly and might cause issues. And of course, calculators may not be used. So everything here will be calculated mentally or using methods. So without further ado, let's go. So number one, what do we have? So the scatter graph shows the maximum temperature and the number of hours sunshine in 14 British towns on one day, which is usually expected to be low. So here we go. So far it seems to be like a positive correlation, as the number of hours of sunshine increases, or at least then the temperature will also increase, or vice versa. And one outlier seems to be here. So one of the points is an outlier, right down the corners of this point. So like I said, it's over here. So this looks like it's going bang in the middle between 9 and 11. So it's 10 across and 19 up. So the answer should be 10 and 19. Okay. Now for all the points, write down the type of correlation. Well, this is 100% positive because, well, everything's increasing together. So that's what you just write, positive. C. Now on the same day in another British town, the maximum temperature was 16.4 degrees Celsius. Estimate the number of hours sunshine in this town on this day. Now the key thing here is that it's always best to draw a line of best fit. Unfortunately, I'm not using PowerPoint, so it'll be a bit tricky, but make sure you have a ruler and try and draw a nice line that cuts through everything here. God, this is going to be quite awful. And when you do that, well, you should get the following. You should then look for the exact value, 16.4, and it cuts somewhere around here. Thankfully, the examiner will give you like a big leeway. So this is the 16.4 mark, about here. Because we can see it's going up in 2 blocks. And you just drag it all the way down. And you realize it cuts somewhere around here. So you can have any answers literally between this interval. I'm going with about 12.8. Fine, that's the thing. So about 12.8 hours. Okay. Now let's move on. So a weatherman decides to say temperatures are higher on days when there is more sunshine. Well, to be honest, looking at this graph, it's true. Because as the number of hours increase, the maximum temperature or the temperature itself also increases. So does the scatter graph support what the weatherman says? And here you can just simply say yes. Pretty much just talk about the temperature itself. So yes. So as temperature increases, then therefore there is more sunshine. You can also say the fact that you're using a positive correlation, yeah, which indicates, that pretty much sums it up. So there's various ways to answer, but try and be as clear as possible, and it's quite an obvious statement, I think. Anyway, next one, number 2. Right, what do we have here? So express 56 as a product of its prime factors. Okay, so what do we have? So first things first is firstly write down 56 and then just use the factor tree method and start breaking it apart. So one thing about 56, we know that it's even number, so break into 2, so it'll be 2 times 28. That's the first thing. Break down 28 is 2 and 14. Break down 14 is 2 and 7. And that's it. It should be this. And your prime factors, you always circle the prime numbers only. So how many 2's we got? We've got 3 2s, so it'll be 2 to the power 3. And you got single 7. And that's it. That literally equals 56. Whew, so easy so far. Now, number 3. Work out 54.6 times 4.3. Well, imagine this. When you got decimals, ignore decimal and literally get straight to it. And rewrite this as 546 times 43. Now, you can use various methods. Column or block method, row method. I mean, I'm sure there's like, your name has probably come up as a method too. What I would personally do, I just use the column method because it's standard. And it works for me. For other people, they might prefer the block method. Your choice. And what I do, I always split this in 2 parts. So I got 546 times 3 and 546 times 40, just for the sake of avoiding a very popular error. Now working out each one, let's do it. So we've got 6 times 3 is 18, carry the 1. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13, so 3 and 1. And then 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1, 16. So that's one answer. Now, when you're multiplying by 40, you can just stick a 0 in because it's like times in my 10 too. So let's do it. So 4 times 6 is 24, so 4, carry the 2. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18, carry the 1. And then 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1, 21. Okay, now all we do here is simply add them up now. So just be very careful when you add up the solutions. So let's see. So we can say, therefore, this solution plus 1638. So I'm going to put this underneath. 1638 plus. Now adding them up, you just simply going to get 8, 7. 8 plus 6 is 14, so 4 carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and 2. And by the way, looks like we're done here, but we're not. Now we really got to think about the decimal place. So if the decimal place is moved 1 across here and 1 across here, we can say collectively it's moved a total of 2. 1 plus 1 is 2, yeah? So just add up how many places it's moved for each numbers. Sometimes if the decimal is here, it will be 2 places. So it'll be 2 plus 1, 3, and so on. So that means if it's moved 2 places, then it must be here. Another way to think about is just think about what would 54 times 4 be, or better yet, 50 times 4. That's 200. So it's 3 numbers. So we're expecting something along the line. So 234 is a safe answer. Anyway, moving on. Number 4, oof, algebra, I love it. So you're given some information, and it states that the area of the shape ABCD equals 10. So the total area is 10. Keep that in mind. Show that you can make a quadratic equation. Right. So literally just find area of each block and equal it to 10. So let's do it. And they've done it easy for us. So 3 times 3 here is 9 centimeters squared. 3 times x is 3x. And we've got x times 3 is, again, 3x. And then x times x is x squared. Now just add them all up and equate it to 10. So let's do that. So we can say, therefore, x squared plus 3x and 3x is 6x plus 9 equals 10. And now just get the form they want. So throw the 9 across to the right hand side. And we should that basically means subtracting 9, so we should get 1. And that's it. Case closed. Okay. Alright, so let's move on. Number 5. So this rectangular frame is made from 5 straight pieces of metal. Oof. I mean, just looking at head on, this looks like a Pythagoras' theorem. Okay. So the weight of the metal is 1.5 kilograms per meter. So every meter, so whatever your final result, times it by 1.5. Work out the total weight. Okay, that's fine. So total weight would literally be 1.5 times your answer. So that's what we're going for. Now, how to do this? Well, first things first, this is a right angle triangle, so using Pythagoras, we can work out this diagonal side. So just whip our triangle here. Call this one 5 and 12. Call this one h, hypotenuse. So using the a squared plus b squared equals c squared method, i.e. Pythagoras, and where a and b are the short sides, we can say now that 5 squared plus 12 squared must equal c squared, which is h squared. And we just solve it. So 5 squared is firstly 25, so just be comfortable with your square numbers, guys. 12 squared is 144. And now, tidying this up, you should get 169. So for those who don't know, I highly recommend that you memorize your square numbers up to 15. Reason why? Because we need to firstly recognize that 169 is actually 13 squared. So h itself is 13. 13 squared is this, so definitely keep that in mind. So because we got h, we know this is 13. We also know that this is 5 and the opposite length is also 12 because it's a rectangle. And alas, now we just add everything up. So 5 plus 5 is 10. 12 and 12 is 24. Plus 13. We should get, should be quick at maths. So 10, 24, and 13. This gives 37, 47. So the answer would be, total weight would be 1.5 times 47. Again, using any method, well, I just split this up. As I always do this as 1 times 47, which is 47, and then 0.5 times 47, which is actually same as half of 47. which is actually half of 20 is 20, 40 is 20, and this is 3.5, so 23.5. And then add them together and you get 70.5. So whatever works for you guys, yeah? Kilograms. Right, not bad. Let's move forward. Number 6. So the equation of a line L1 is given by this. Second line is given by another type of linear equation. Show that these two lines are parallel. Oof. To show something is parallel, we need to firstly make sure everything is in the standard form, and then basically guarantee that both of these have the same value m, the same gradient. Now looking at the first line, it's already set out for us. The gradient here is 3, so m is 3 for line 1. Now for the second equation, yeah, just rewrite into this form. So let's just get down. So this is for line 2, yes. Always definitely make your work clear. Now what we could do is literally throw everything that isn't y to the right hand side. So minus 9x plus 5 is thrown to the right, and they change sign, so they become positive 9x and negative 5. And lastly, to get into this y form, divide the equation by 3. So you should get y equals 3x. 5 divided by 3, well, doesn't matter, 5 or 3. And yes, they have the same gradient because they both have a 3. So you just stay parallel since m equals 3 for both lines, indicating they're parallel. They just have a different y-intercept, at minus 2 and minus 5/3. Yeah, that's it. All right, number 7. So now what do we have? So there are 10 boys and 20 girls in a class. The class has a test. Now the average mark for all the class is 60, whereas the mean mark for the girls is 54. Oof. Work out the mean mark for the boys. Very easy way to do this. First things first, we need to use the weighted mean technique. This just means that we're finding the average of the average. So let's have a look. We have 10 boys and 30 girls in class, meaning the total mean would be over 30. For the 10 boys, well, we're trying to find the mean mark. So let's call the mean mark for boys x. For the girls, we know the mean mark is 54. So it'll be 20 times 54. And we know that the total mean mark for the whole class is 60. So it equals 60. We begin here. Now you just solve and find x. So let's see. What we could do is times 30 across. So we're going to have 10x plus, and multiplying this out, you can do 2 times 54 is 108. Add a 0, 108 with a 0. 6 times 3 is 18. Add 2 zeros. So that's just some mental maths there, yeah? Now you just have to solve and rearrange. So what you could do, make your life easy. Actually, to make it super easy, divide the whole equation by 10. So you're left with x plus 108 equals 180. Now you just subtract 108 and get 72. And that's it, guys. The mean mark for the boys is 72. Okay, question 8, guys. Let's have a look. So A, write 7.97 times 10 to the power negative 6 as an ordinary number. Okay, so all this literally means, super easy actually. When you got a negative power and a 10th base, this is known as the standard form, even positive. The key idea is that you just want to put 6 digits behind this, and that's it. By 6 digits, you just rewrite it as 6 zeros. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's it. And then you just put 797 and smash the decimal point here. There's other ways to do this, but I always think of negative 6 as 6 numbers behind the 7. Okay? And that's really it. So this will be your final answer. So you just put that over here. Okay? B, work out the value of 2.52 times 10 to the power 5 divided by 4 times 10 to the power negative 3. Again, standard form. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. One, you could expand it, or you can use a nice trick, and that is taking advantage of the powers. So first things first, write the whole equation, and because you're dividing, write it as a fraction. So it'll be over 4 times 10 to the negative 3. Okay, so now looking at this one, firstly look at the tens. We have 10 to the power 5 over 10 to the power negative 3. When you're dividing terms, you're subtracting the power. So it'll be 5 minus 3, which is the same as 5 plus 3. So the solution will be 10 to the power 8. So it'll be 8 up here. And then this cancels out. So we've got 2.52 times 10 to the power 8 over 4 now. Now we can just ignore this bit. In fact, you know what? Just to make our life a lot easier, you can split them in two terms. So it'd be 2.52 over 4 times 10 to the power 8. So this bit is done. Now we just got divided by 4. So literally just use any division method. I'm going to use the classic bus stop method, you know, the ones you learn probably back in primary school or early on. So what do we have? So go 4 into 2, we cannot do. It goes 0 times, carry the 2. 4 into 25 goes exactly 6 times because of 24, remainder 1, and 4 into 12 goes 3. So alas, we now have 0.63 times 10 to the power 8. Unfortunately, you cannot keep this as your answer because it's not standard form. The unit part here must be between 1, should be 1 to 9. So we need to kind of shift the decimal place here. So the way I see this, if you move the decimal place across, so you expand this number, you must decrease the power. So it'll be 6.3 times 10 to the power of 7. Okay, that's really it. That's all you have to do at this stage.